Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. As we've been discussing for the past couple of weeks, we are fully into our annual holiday campaign with Food for the Poor to raise the requisite dollars to feed starving children in Haiti and other countries in the developing world where starvation is a real threat. I want to just highlight our business benefactors again because a key aspect of this campaign in terms of meeting our goals is getting a business leadership from the Chicagoland area. And Amy will explain what the Business Benefactor Program is, how it works. But just want to thank Waukegan Roofing, Opinion Health Solutions, Jeff Tischler, author of High Tech versus the Highest Tech, Marshall Pearson Company, Fine Jewelry and Luxury Watches, Brewster Machining Incorporated, and many other businesses for their support because it's mission critical for this campaign.
And if you've thought about, maybe you want to advertise for your company and you're not sure if you're on the fence, folks, this is the best deal in all of Chicago radio. A one-time donation of $2,500, which is tax deductible, goes to Food for the Poor, and as a way of saying thank you, we give you 40 one-minute commercials that air right here on AM 560. This sells out every year, so the sooner you get on it, the better. But think about it. You'll be helping children who are facing starvation on a daily basis, but you'll also be boosting your company. And we've had so many advertisers that are still in our family that started out as business benefactors. I mean, I think of Turnkey IT, Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling, Waukegan Roofing, Tom Sadeka's company. I mean, the list goes on and on. But we really help them elevate their business because, again, it's the best deal in Chicago radio to become a business benefactor. Write it down. 847-472-8951. You have to call Ann Jeanette. Again, the phone number is 847-472-8951. If you're on the fence, just call Ann Jeanette anyway. She'll walk you through the process, tell you, the benefits. And again, the money helps those that are near starvation on a daily basis, and it will also help elevate your business.
And again, Food for the Poor, 40-year track record, 5-star Charity Navigator rated, 90% plus of every dollar raised goes directly to the provision of food and water and infrastructure building to sustain lives and save lives in Haiti and elsewhere. For more on this campaign, we're pleased to be joined by Anitra Parmele. She's associated with Food for the Poor. Anitra, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me. What an exciting time of the year as people are starting to take stock of 2023. And we have seen such an outpouring of generosity from your listeners who are taking a stand against hunger in, as you mentioned, 17 countries throughout Latin America and the Caribbean by providing food for a year. The numbers are incredible in terms of the families that have been impacted by rising food prices, but also amazing in terms of your listeners stepping up to make a difference. Talking about Kevin listening and Carol Stream, his gift of $160 will rescue 4 children, providing food for a year. If you've been to the grocery store lately, you know that is pretty amazing and efficient, as we're able to say $160 one-time gift provides 4 children with food for a year. For Jonathan and Jennifer, they were streaming the show in Wichita. They were able to give a gift of $1,000, rescuing 25 children. So I love that everybody is, just looking at their own resources, but trying to make a difference for 2024. Imagine being able to provide a hungry child who hasn't eaten maybe for 2 or 3 days, with the assurance of knowing they are going to get 2 life-saving meals a day for the next year. I mean, that's what we're inviting you to be a part of right now.
I like that word you use, rescue. I mean, that's really what this is, a rescue operation. That's probably the best way to describe it. By the way, JohnCastNews.com, John Cast just texted me, I'm in JohnCastNews.com, business benefactor.
Yeah.
If you can't trust John Cast, then, who can you trust in this world? So we appreciate John Cast's support and all the other businesses as well. It's really great. So how tell us, give us a little bit of stock in terms of how the overall campaign is going, what the goal is this year, and how we're doing in achieving that.
Well, we have an audacious goal because we, having been with your listeners year after year after year, we know the generosity not just of the business benefactors, but also of the families, the couples, the singles, the people that are saying, I'm the mother of two kids, and I want to make sure another mother who woke up this morning not knowing how she's going to feed her child. I want to relieve that pressure for her. So already almost 2,000 children, you've allowed Food for the Poor to notify those parents that they are going to have a future, quite literally. I mean, so many of these words in terms of hunger and malnutrition and the threat of starvation can be just can weigh you down, but we encourage you to think about the hope that your gift gives, because you transform that mother when she is able to know that no longer does every waking moment need to be focused on getting food for her children. Imagine how that boulder of terror just rolls off, and all of a sudden she's able to exhale. I mean, as parents, imagine not knowing how to feed your children, not because you're lazy or a bad parent, but because of circumstances totally out of your control. And then somebody comes along and says, you know, somebody is coming alongside and standing by you, your children, two children, four children, even gifts, as we mentioned, of 25 children, business benefactors, over 60 children will get the news that they're going to eat for a year. Whatever the number of children, imagine the impact on each of them as they have a future. You are making 2024 possible for them.
Yeah, and I've been there, and I was lucky to go along before political unrest. You know, they had to stop the trips, but to work at the feeding center to actually fill up
Oh.
these buckets with rice and beans, and seeing the smiles on people's faces, even though they walked miles to get there, and they do it every day to bring back, just a bucket of rice and beans back to their children.
Amy, we've been so grateful. I've been listening to your stories, and you take me back. I have the honor of traveling with Food for the Poor to many of the countries where we serve. And there's just that recognition. You can hear about it, but it's different when you speak so eloquently of standing there, of the smells, of the sights, of the sounds. And as you mentioned, the incredible joy of being able to ladle into these buckets food that you know is going to make a difference. And I've been so grateful as I've listened to the show that you're able to translate that to somebody who may never have the chance to go to Haiti, but because of your experiences and your stories and your on the ground testimony of the efficiency of Food for the Poor, suddenly they're saying, okay, this is something I want to be a part of. I don't want to miss out on this. So grateful to you and for traveling with us and for sharing your story so eloquently.
I mean, it's
And
hard to describe the level of poverty. I mean, there's garbage piles burning. There is just chaotic. I've never seen and probably never
Right.
will see anything like it in my life.
Well, and this is sort of like, in terms of our supporters, people supporting the campaign, this is sort of like being a virtual volunteer at a soup kitchen. Not that you can't do that in real life too, but this is another way to do it where the threat truly is existential. It's an overused word, but it's applicable here. And the other thing too, I mean, just with Food for the Poor as the vehicle, I think people need to understand the trust relationship built up over 40 years and the infrastructure. There's just not a lot of other organizations that have the capacity to do what you do. So, I mean, in many places like Haiti, it's more or less Food for the Poor or nothing.
You're exactly right. And in Haiti, we are the largest NGO. Literally millions of Haitians rely on Food for the Poor for their daily food because of, I mean, we've read the headlines. We know the story of Haiti, but these innocent victims of these circumstances are rescued because of gifts like yours. I mean, you're exactly right. This morning, a father is going to set off on a journey in the heat and the challenges of a 2-hour trip because he's heard the rumor that somebody may have food for his children. I mean, they haven't eaten for 2 days. And as a husband, as a father, that is a matter of shame for him. And he finally makes it to the Food for the Poor staff member. And the only reason that staff member's able to say yes, here's food for your children, and we are going to be able to feed you for the next year, is because of your action right now. Without you, I mean, this is reality. Without you, that staff member just shakes his head. There is not provision without your gift. And we're so grateful for everyone who's given. I challenge you, will you be a part of rescuing the next 50 children? That would be a one-time gift of $2,000. Maybe like Frankie in Bloomingdale, you can give $500 and rescue 12 children. Again, maybe like Kevin and Carol Stream. For you, your number is 160, rescuing 4 children. Whatever your amount, will you say yes right now as 2023 comes to an end, so that 2024 is full of possibilities and will give children a future?
And again, if you're not running your donation through a business to take advantage of the Business Benefactor Program, the individual donations that Anitra was referencing, you can make one at 844-862-4673, 844-862-4673, that is, or visit 560theanswer.com/food for the poor. And, a gift as little as $80 can feed 2 children for a year.
And I love what Martha said. When you go to 560theanswer.com and click on that big red banner, we ask all the normal information, but we also ask if you'd like to share, just tell us why you gave. And we have had such inspiring comments, Amy, in response to your stories, because they trust you guys so much. They're like, you know what? I know my money is going to be well placed and that every dollar is going to make a difference. And from Martha, she said, there are so many headlines that I hear about that I can't do anything about. This is finally something I can do something about. And she was able to make a very generous gift in the name of our family. So will you say yes right now to providing a future for children or mothers who are boiling water? This is a situation we see over and over, where they're boiling water and we ask them, oh, what are you cooking? And the response is just devastating. I'm boiling water only to give my children hope that there may be something coming to eat. I'm hoping they fall asleep before they realize I have nothing to give them.
Yeah, it's such a heartbreaking story, but it's true. And I'm about to tweet out the picture of the boy that we saw on the side of the road that we stopped. I'm like, just stop and let's give him all the food we have. Because his mom was gone because she was walking to the village to get the food, to bring it back. But that was such a nice surprise and the smile on his face. So please, whatever amount you could give, 844-862-4673 or visit 560theanswer.com/food-for-the-poor. But that child and his brother, if you just donate $80, you could feed those 2 boys for a year. And also, again, we cannot hit hard enough our Business Benefactor Program. It is the best deal in Chicago radio. $2,500 tax-deductible donation. We will give you 40 one-minute commercials that will air right here on AM 560, Monday through Friday at primetime hours. And you will be helping people as well as you're helping your business. To become a business benefactor, call Ann Jeanette, 847-472-8951. And just think, how many people, if you get a $2,500 donation, what could you do with that?
That's 62 children suddenly who have a future. Imagine children who have not had food for 2 or 3 days will have 2 meals a day every single day. And I'm so nosy, I want to know, the children you rescue, who are they going to become? Will they be the next community leader, the next pastor, the next micro industry leader? You are giving them
the next Olden Polynice, a couple NBA players from Haiti.
Seriously, because all of a sudden they have a future. And Amy, I love your story of stopping and meeting needs, because isn't that our impetus? And that is, as a listener to Dan and Amy, I know your generosity. If these children were at your door, you'd be running for your pantry. If your second grader said, Mommy, I don't think the little boy has a lunch every day, you'd be packing not one brown bag, but several to make sure everybody ate. Well, it's a click, it's a call, but the impact is beyond words when you move children from hunger into satisfaction and a hope for the future.
Anitra Parmele, Food for the Poor representative. Anitra, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me. So excited to have a front row seat to see your listeners respond with generosity.
Thank you. And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Support our police and hire the police to personally protect you. You've watched the news. Rising crime has been affecting our everyday lives in Illinois more and more these days. Blue Star Security can protect you, your business, or your place of worship. Blue Star Security is the only security company in Chicago with over 900 off-duty police officers, all W-2 employees.
I'm Jeffrey Salvetti, Vice President of Blue Star Security and a 15-year law enforcement veteran. The Blue Star team is made up of over 900 state-certified active and retired law enforcement professionals. We serve businesses and private organizations with supply chain and special event security, and also protect our loved ones at places of worship and schools all across the Chicagoland area. Blue Star Security's technology